Etifa kwa baba de la TV no message and na watch nation no hit do man no subscribe se video pin the latest news bi abaje bre na won set makabi na ya bara en 7 ma the latest news etifa bibom Okudzeto wa Dismantle Afenyo Markins wo tutu ne pasa ni na ne say what just I say o hwe Afenyo Markins ni me bi ode to ne so say eye owo fie watofie wo airport house na Okudzeto so ichemu say onu nyu bia oye corrupt person na say even though if you nyesu woni bi owo bi but say enkra bonten so say wo wi aban sika pa te say de nkofu wi aye na ensem de odi bia to bia ye monwro bi ntie Okudzeto ye ba de ka ho de mo ensem bebram.
These are my crimes. These are my crimes. Elsewhere, this decent-minded politicians will rally behind an MP like this and support him. They will not vilify him, hound him, and seek to just, denigrate and subject him to all of these cruel, baseless attacks. Look, as I was saying, if I was on the minority side, simple. Airport Hills, they have an estate management. Before the vetting, you saw how we were doing vetting. You saw the work we did. Honorable Muntaka, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, you saw the work we did. We will do our due diligence, our background work. We don't just get up and come there to settle personal scores. We will have gone there, written to the Airport Hills management, asked for documentation on the true status. That's what we will have done. They haven't done any of that. So in one breath, they say that the property belongs to me. I've put it in my sister's name, so I'm not paying rent. So in another breath, the same people, though, in another breath, they say that, how can you be earning 15,000 cedis? They know it's not true. I don't know about Afenyo Markins. He's an MP. He knows it's not true. That's not how much we are paid. He knows that we receive rent allowances. He doesn't want the Ghanaian people to know. They are not being transparent. They are not being truthful. He knows.
So you don't have property in your relatives' names?
No. I mean, why will I do that? I mean, what? Look. When I was asked about my Afenyo house, I said, yes, I own it, I built it. If you look in my asset declaration, and I was going to do that, you remember the chairman said that the asset declaration law, you declare your assets with the Auditor General. You remember? And I have the verbatim report here from the proceedings of Friday, 31st January. If you go to page 132, the chairman stopped me that we have an asset declaration law in our country. So don't be declaring your assets public. Or if you set that precedent, everybody who appears will have to declare their assets.
So have you declared your assets?
I've declared my assets. I'm always on time in declaring my. You declare your assets before you take office. Then at the end.
Yes.
And I thought that they could even have I told them that, look, you can even go to the Auditor General and ask for, if the committee so desires, ask for a copy of my asset declaration. So as I was saying, the same people, the inconsistency, the illogicality, and they don't credit Ghanaians with common sense. One breath, he owns the thing. He's put in his sister's name. He's not paying any rent. In another breath, you say that, he earns 15,000 cedis and he's paying rent, and I've heard all kinds of outrageous figures. They say $15,000, $20,000. Look, fortunately, Alfred, and this is exclusive to you. Even though, if you read page 132 of the verbatim report, the chairman of the committee said, when I was asked, and I said, Mr. Chairman, if you want me to share my tenancy agreement with you, even though I will have to seek the permission of my dear wife because we do it together, I have no qualms about that. Then the chairman rules that please do not proceed. It is not in the interest of the committee to be demanding your tenancy agreement, let alone how much you pay as rent.
So it was at the instance of the chair.
So when Afenyo Markins goes around saying that I was asked and I didn't produce, and they are all over the place saying that, I'm hiding, I claim my landlord has traveled and that I can't find my tenancy, blatant lies. These proceedings were live. The verbatim report, read page 132, is here. The chairman said that would not be necessary, and the proceedings were live. But despite this, because of all the vicious attacks, corruption, fighting, those of us who want to stop the hemorrhage, stop the bleeding, I decided to write to the estate management that, look, I just want to settle this matter once and for all. So I wrote to the company called Finale, who are the managers of the Airport Hills properties, and told them that, look, even though the chairman, because I know everybody followed the proceedings, even though the chairman said this would not be necessary, I am writing to you, something the minority could have done. I'm writing to you, I want you to do full disclosure. My status there, do I own a property at Airport Hills? Am I renting? What's the tenancy agreement? What are the rules? You've also heard them say that, oh, even Airport Hills, you cannot rent. You've heard them say that.
Yes,
blatant lies.
Because of how much you said to be earning. And that 15,000, which you say is not the case, you are any more than that. But on the report you just read, it's saying that the rent is catered for by yourself and your wife.
Yes.
Okay.
We signed the tenancy agreement. So if you don't mind, can I read the letter I wrote to Finale?
I think we have a copy of that letter.
Yes, very quickly.
Let's put that on the screen.
And then I can confirm to you that Finale has responded, and we have forwarded same to the appointments committee, and I've asked that it should be made public. Okay. I have nothing to hide in this matter. So this is the letter.
Committee to make this information public.
Yes. So on the 3rd of February 2025, I wrote this letter to Finale Limited, and I say, dear sir or madam, request for confirmation of my residential status at plot number 565, number 1 Wilshire Boulevard, Airport Hills, Accra. On Friday, January 31, 2025, I responded to an invitation from the Appointments Committee of Parliament to be vetted as Minister for Foreign Affairs following my nomination by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana. During the vetting proceedings, questions arose about my residential address, the nature of my occupancy, and the ownership of that address. I am, by this letter, granting consent to Finale Limited, the managers of Airport Hills, to provide information to the Appointments Committee stating my residential status. In the spirit of full disclosure, kindly be at liberty to also indicate the owner of the property in issue with the hope that the owner shall also consent. The size of the land, because you heard Newz say in Parliament that it's a 4-plot, it's a very palatial structure, and all of that. So I said, we want all that out. The size of the land, they should put all out. And then I also asked for their policy on rental. Then I conclude the last paragraph. Even though the record of proceedings will confirm that the Honorable Chairman of the Appointments Committee disallowed further inquiries on my tenancy, I have decided to pursue this path in accordance with my personal principles of transparency, accountability, and in the larger public interest, particularly considering that I have absolutely nothing to hide in this matter. Counting on your cooperation, sincerely, signed Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa.
Okay. So that's the copy of the letter.
3rd February 2025.
About. This one.
Despite the chairman's ruling, yes, this is the letter. Unfortunately, yesterday, I received the response from Finale.
Okay. That is the estate managers of Airport Hills.
And this is what they have sent to the Appointments Committee, despite the chairman ruling that it will not be necessary. I just want to, because of the mischief out there.
Is that what is on the screen?
Yes, that is.
So they've written to Bernard Ahiafo?
They've written to Bernard Ahiafo, the chairman of the Appointments Committee. Attention, Honorable Bernard Ahiafo, February 6, 2025. Request for confirmation of my residential status at plot 565, number 1 Wilshire Boulevard, Airport Hills, Accra. The letter reads, letter dated February 3, 2025 on the above subject matter, directing us to send our response to the chairman of the Appointments Committee refers. With the consent of the homeowner and the tenants in the above subject matter property, we conducted a thorough search of our files. Our records show 1, a land title certificate issued on December 15, 2017 and registered as GA 53985, Volume 2, Folio 1440 for a parcel of land measuring 0.29 acre, one plot from Finale Limited to Husni Altibe. Husni Altibe, our landlord is a Jordanian.
I see.
Husni Altibe, he's not my relative. I don't have any Jordanian links. The letter continues. a tenancy agreement dated March 1, 2017, between Hosni Altibe and Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa and Noella Sedu, that's my wife, for which we granted our consent on August 8, 2017. A renewal agreement dated March 1, 2022. The tenancy is still subsisting, and the requisite consent has been granted therein. Kindly find attached copies of the documents for your reference. 1, land title certificate, dated December 50, 2017, consent certificate, 2022 renewal, tenants undertaking signed in 2017 and 2022 respectively, lessee's acknowledgement 2017 and 2022. Airport Hills is an owner-occupied community with a very limited number of rentals, subject to the consent of Finale Limited. Thank you, yours sincerely. This is signed by Benis Among, Director of Administration. So the propaganda that I own it, they have been exposed. The propaganda that it belongs to my sister, they have been exposed. Here, the owner, the property belongs to Hosni, a Jordanian. The records also show that it's just a small one plot. The records also show that Airport Hills allows for rental. So it is not true when they say that, oh, so you see, they are so sloppy. And I know it's deliberate. They just, and if you listen to them, it's all because of Oral. That, Mr. Oral, he's going around, he's saying, why are we buying land for 42,000 cities? Why are we trying to buy hotels, Nate hotels? Why are we doing National Cathedral for $58 million? So he should come to Equity with clean hands. So we have to smear him. Even if there is nothing to smear, there is nothing, that I've done. Look, Alfred, let me state that I have served this country in many capacities. I've been Deputy Minister for Information. I've been Deputy Minister for Education. I've been MP all these years. At no time has any adverse finding been made against me. There is no Auditor General's report where you find my name that have diverted funds or taken anybody's money. At no point in time. I have attended upon my duties with utmost integrity, making sure that I do not disappoint the people of our country, particularly the youth, who have so much expectation.
Yes.
So if my crime is that I accepted this oral appointment, and you heard them in Parliament, Mr. Oral, and he's harassing us. He doesn't want us to buy state assets for cheap, and he's preventing corruption, preventing bleeding. So we have to go with him. We have to deal with him. He who thinks he stands should. You heard some of the scriptures they were reading. Should take heed lest he fall. Should this be about? And when you listen to them carefully, it's as though you see politics in Ghana now is become looting, robbery. Come and join us. Why are you trying to portray yourself as a saint? I haven't said I'm a saint, or I don't seek sainthood. I just believe that we should have conviction in our politics, that this is a country where so many people are suffering. Look at the millions out there who can't have jobs. There are no factories. Our factories are collapsing. People can't have potable drinking water, can't have hospitals. Even sometimes some things as basic as incubators. Preterm babies are dying because we don't have incubators. That $58 million we've sunk in a pit. Imagine how it can re-equip all our hospitals. You heard Otumfuo the last time complain about the state of Komfo-Anokye. All of these billions and billions of dollars that we are losing, and you ask yourself, is it a crime to say that let's all come together and try to protect state resources, protect state assets? It's not about sainthood. It's not somebody saying that he is Mr. Saint or he is an angel. I have not claimed that status. All I'm saying is that our politics can be decent, can be clean. We can, stop the hemorrhage and rechannel those resources to improving the lot of our people. Is that a crime?
Okay.
Should I be crucified because of that? And then they engage in all of these fabrications.
So this document we have just shown, say the chair of the appointments committee has copies of this document. Because I recall that during your approval, the reason why the minority did not take part in your approval was that there were some documents, including the details of your rental in Airport Hills, that they didn't have. The chair had this. Again, the chair has this letter.
Yes, and
the details from the managers.
And on that day, even before the vote was taken, despite the chairman's ruling on this matter. I showed him the tenancy agreements. And you see, the claims they were making on the floor is in total contradiction of what transpired and the chairman's ruling. I was not asked to provide that. The chairman ruled that that would not be necessary. We don't do that at the appointments committee. That's not where you declare your assets. Under the law, there is a clear regime of how you declare your assets, where you declare your assets. And you remember I said I didn't mind. If the chairman will allow me, I will list them. I don't mind. But the chairman said, no, we are following the law. You declare your assets with the Auditor General. And I have complied. It will have been a different matter if I haven't complied, and then so you want to then, compel me to do that. But the chairman ruled. So they go about distorting the proceedings, saying that, I was supposed to provide, I haven't. Then they design a fake flyer that I claim that my landlord has traveled and that I can't find my tenancy agreement. I mean, all because oral must be crucified. Oral should be vilified. Operation Recover All Loot shouldn't work. We should not go after looting. And they forget that, look, we have come into power now. If what I was doing was just for cheap, narrow, partisan interests, now that we've come into power, I would not even have accepted this oral appointment, because it will mean that it is now my turn to also loot. It's my turn to go and buy cantonments land for 42,000 cedis. It's my turn now to go and grab SNIT hotels, because I'm now in government. And bath in the sky and all of that. So isn't it good for a country that you have people who have come into government and they say that, look, we will accept oral appointments, we will stand by the principles that we were pursuing in opposition. We say we will protect state assets, and we will make sure that the people's taxes go into their development. Look, in my constituency, all our factories have collapsed. Afenyo rice has collapsed. Meanwhile, we are spending over $400 million every year importing rice, creating jobs for other young people in Thailand, in Vietnam, and elsewhere. Joapon Textiles has collapsed. That $58 million we sunk in that pit, it can be used to take care of these factories, resuscitate these factories, create jobs for our young people. That $58 million they claim to have sunk in that hole, it can be used to create jobs for the millions who are at home, who don't have jobs to go to in our country, who cannot, attain their full potential and have the dignity of life. So these are serious matters, and it should not be reduced to mischief makers engaging in just dubious and very, nauseating propaganda just because we must smear. Let's present the oral chairman as somebody who even lacks the credibility, should not even have a voice to say that let us recover loot. I mean, and it's so obvious. It's so clear that all of this is being done because of oral. You hear them. Afenyo Markins says, why are you raising my 99-year lease with the government? Why are you talking about MPs who have been given cantonments land for 42,000 cedis? Why are you talking about that?
The reference was made to the current status of the law, which then allows some of this, the sale of the public lands at such,
please forget about this.
And I must so much, bro, with the Likee TV.